Hello, everyone. Bonsoir, buonasera. Special greetings to you all from Pedro Plus Podcast. You are all welcome once again to this beautiful show, and a very good evening to you all from wherever you are watching us tonight. It's your host, Pedro Plus, and I have in the studio with me again today, Tiasha Castellic Asomani.
Hi, I'm here again.
Hello, Tiasha. How's you doing? Like I would say.
I, I am very, very good. I had a great day on the sunshine, spending time in town and spending money, so I feel
Oh,
great. How about you?
I'm doing marvelous. It was a great day for me. I had the pleasure of going to the garden with my son again today. We had a very great time. It was a continuation of the play, the time we spent together last night. We continued. And my
Oh,
mom went out for political activities this morning up to the afternoon time. So I had that wonderful moment with him, and it was a great moment for me. It was a great moment for me.
oh,
So you
father-son
know,
bonding time.
of course, because those are moments we cherish forever.
Absolutely,
He's
absolutely.
becoming four. He's becoming four very soon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Soon the hormones are gonna start hitting, so use that
of course,
opportunity.
of course, of course. Anyway, how was the day? How was the week?
Actually, not bad, being that it didn't rain so much, so I'm feeling like,
That's
inspired
very
now and
good.
positive.
In the
Yeah, but
UK,
we have thunderstorms tomorrow, so, you know,
I was
my
once in
joy
that.
is gonna end.
Okay, let's hope that it went well anyway. It goes well, sorry,
Yeah,
and
hopefully.
the thunder and everything. And the UK is a nice one too. So I think you guys are enjoying the spring. If it didn't rain during the whole week, that's a good one for a country like the United Kingdom.
Yes. And being that, I live basically by the water, so it's also, another thing.
Oh, okay.
It adds a
So,
little bit more of moisture.
so yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Man. Welcome once again. Tonight, I want to have this important discussion with you. I mean, discussion where we, this little chat and everything, because it's something that we had talked about it maybe even in the past.
Hmm.
It's interesting how oftentimes people blame every other person for whatever problem that they may have in their personal life or even with the world itself. Some
Hmm.
people, with my experience today, I now believe that some people in itself, I mean, have a problem with life in itself. So I'm curious to know which is the best approach to take as a human being when it comes to issues of life, learning, growing up, approaching things in a way that is both logical and emotional. Emotional in the
Hmm.
sense that everything under control. Because over the years, it is practically not possible for anybody to be emotional today. And I will explain this. I will tell you what I mean with this simple explanation. If people do you wrong for whatever reason, if you react, you are emotional. If you don't react, you are weak. So I believe that a high number of persons around the world might be living in that dilemma. They really don't know how best to react in situations. And
Hmm.
on top of that, there are some of us that are very manipulative,
Hmm.
personally, due to our character, our style, and the way we approach things in life, especially now that it's a kind of a prestigious thing to be the number one victim in the world. Almost everybody is victim today. So it's a living situation or time that we live in. So I am asking exactly how is it possible that people learn from their mistakes? Or rather, do you learn from the mistake of other people? Do people, Tiasha, in your opinion, really, if ever, learn from their mistakes?
I I think that it also depends, what kind of a mistake it was.
Okay.
What are we talking about? Because obviously,
It can be whatever mistake. It can be whatever
yeah.
mistake. It can be is investment.
But
It
I
can
think
be
yes, Pedro, that's true. But what I meant with that is what you find as, an important mistake or not important mistake. Like, what was your goal, you know, with whatever was going on and the mistake happened in between? Like, that's what I'm like, for example, I'll explain it better with an example.
mhm.
I personally think that when it comes to like love and stuff, a lot of percentages of people doesn't learn from their mistakes. They
Okay.
continue that cycle. Better be with themselves that they made a mistake. I don't know, maybe being too insecure, for example, and jumping in another relationship and continuing that the same pattern, which is a mistake, right? Instead of learning on yourself and about yourself and doing something for it. If you jump to another relationship, this your insecurity might become a problem,
Okay.
which causes, it's a that you understand where I'm going with that. Now,
Of
if
course.
it's I don't know, if it's a mistake of like a smaller type of whatever, I also think that people don't even consider it, maybe don't even think of it as a mistake and they are still continuing. But I believe that when it comes to like, let's say maybe establishing a business or whatever, that this is the mistake that you learn more from it. Like if you're gonna do something wrong with it, that you do try to correct it in order for you to succeed. Does that make sense?
Of course.
I'm talking about like, I'm gonna say statistically out of my head based on the conversations that you have with people, based on what you read on social medias and stuff. I think that when it comes to business, people are very eager to learn from their mistakes, but when it comes to their personal life, not so much. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
But why is that the case? Is it because that in business you lose money, so people don't want to lose money and they learn from their mistake, they want to get better in it? Would it not have been better if we learn from the
I think that
mistake
this is
of others?
outside life. Business is an outside life. It's outside representation of who you are.
Okay.
It's like driving a luxurious car. It's easy to buy it, but what about maintaining it? You know what I mean? But people will go over and beyond to show that flash on the outside because your personal struggles are harder to fix. They do demand more energy. They demand sacrifices, and not being selfish as well, which you know what kind of a world we live in now, right?
That is what I'm
Admitting,
saying.
I mean, admitting, to your personal mistakes, it's very hard. So is asking for help, because it's showing your weakness. It's showing, you can't do it. It's showing that you can't do it. You're a failure, or I don't know how people see themselves. It's hard to admit it. I've done something. I've done it wrong. It affected me like this and that. When it comes to business, it's an outside one. You're gonna do everything to show others that you are that successful. I think it's just that pure shallowness, to be honest. Not saying that business doesn't mean anything, but I'm saying that if people invested that much energy, you know, into their personal lives, that then potentially even the business could be more successful because they as people are happier, they as people are more prosperous, and it might come with a little bit more ease because if you're taking the struggles from your personal life, we did talk about podcasts, right? Let's try to separate the lives when it comes to family relations and stuff. You remember when we said
Yes.
let's not mix them together because it does have effect and everything. But listen, no matter how you try, if you don't live in a healthy personal environment, it is gonna affect your business environment. Because if you, I don't know, if you're selfish as a person, you're gonna be selfish as a businessman. I'm sorry, it's a fact. You know, if you are, I don't know, don't care for others when it comes to family, you're not gonna care for your employees, let's say, or your co-workers of that matter. So you see, but it's easier because once you are there, like it's, and again, it's work environment, and again they say it's just work environment, but then again they're connecting it. You see, this is a whole like net of this. I don't know, I'll say shallowness. I can't use another word. I can't find it.
Good.
That's
Good.
my point.
Maybe.
That's my point on it, man.
Yeah, of course, that's true. That's your perspective, which is very important. And at the same time, there are different areas in which we can make mistake in life. It can be in our relationship, mistake
Right.
can be as well in our place of work, the choice of career, the choice
Yeah.
of courses that we study at school, and even the choice of lifestyle chooses to live.
Yeah.
So the thing is that in all these facets of life, if one finds out that he or she has made a mistake, has engaged him or herself in a very wrong course, how do you reverse that back? Why don't people see the need to reverse it back? Why is it always easy for most people to hold up and blame the circumstances around them and even the world itself? That is the reason why I'm encouraged. If people, if ever, really ever learn from their mistakes.
Didn't I just say before? I think that working on yourself in general is the hardest thing, and people do not want to admit it. Listen, I just came across, I think it was last week or something, when I was checking, and this psychologist or whatever, it was some type of a podcast, kind of, huh?
Okay.
And they were talking about, how people, like, they need therapy, counseling, whether it be couple counseling, therapy as an individuals or whatever, how difficult it is for them to actually accept that they need it, or even say that, oh yeah, I did go or and visited them, or I am visiting them. It's like people find it like a personal failing. Like, I failed as a human being, I failed as, a mother, a wife, or a husband, and a parent. It doesn't matter in what way, but they find it as a huge downstep in their life.
To have made a
Although,
mistake.
yeah, to make a mistake and then seek help for it, like, and admit that the help is needed, or admit that the help is given. So,
Mhm.
and what I think is also the society is like that. Like, imagine, somebody, I think that it's a taboo topic also to say, oh, I went to counseling, or I went to see a psychologist, or I went to see a therapist.
It's really a taboo. I do believe today that the idea of therapy is the new religion in the world. Almost everybody talks about therapy.
They talk about it, but to admit that they participated, it's another level. Let's forget about celebrities and stuff, because they can't even hide it. If they come from an office of a therapist, we all know what they were doing there. Paparazzis are everywhere. So they should then speak out, about it. But a normal human being,
Of
like
course,
it,
I'm talking about the common man like me and you, the ordinary
right?
people.
And I said now, I mean, I am a type of a person. I don't mind to say it. I wouldn't mind to say it. You understand?
Yes.
But I do believe, and I think that I also know type of people that would not admit to it, not admit that they need it, or not admit that they are visiting it.
But why would one be ashamed to have gone to therapy?
I think that it's a um, years ago when they said you need to visit a psychiatrist, it was that you have a serious mental issue. You're an unstable
Yes,
human being.
of course.
And I think that this is what is now, oh my God, now a psychiatrist went to in a posh term of therapist, right? They're not psychiatrists now, they're therapists.
Lady
Um,
therapy.
yeah.
Lady
And
therapy.
I think they ease that word of psychologist, a little bit. I don't know.
Are
It's
you
very hard to
sustaining the
relate
fact?
why.
Are you sustaining the fact that there could be a stigma today going on against someone going to city therapy? In your opinion,
It's a good question. Listen, I'll say it like that. I do believe that a lot of people needs that help. And it's not about, hey, yo, you have a personal issue. Hey, yo, you have psychological issue. It's not about that. It's some type of independent help. The person doesn't know you personally. The person is not emotionally involved with your life. The person is there to just be there, sees cases of your type or any type every single day. So, hey, why not? It's a stranger you can talk to, and a stranger who can potentially give you a quite, not quite, I'll believe, like a very good advice for the future. Let's say, let's call it, instead of a therapist, your guidance, right? To show you the right way, or maybe the way that you should take, or maybe look within yourself a little bit deeper, and work on that and then go from there. However, I think that attending the therapist, or however we want to call it, um,
yeah,
is also that part where I said people struggle to ask for help.
I
So I
also
think that
believe
it,
that. No,
yeah,
finish
no,
your
no,
thoughts, then I'll chime in.
okay. I think that it's connected to this more of an art, and then also, if I do get that courage to, get that help, am I gonna like speak about it? How is the society, or let's say even close friends, gonna see me? Am I gonna be losing friends because of that? Because, like I said, this psychology, you know, they always think like if you need help, you are a little bit cuckoo. They don't see it as, that's why I said it's a taboo before.
I okay. As a professional psychologist, I doubt they would personally think so, but I will agree with you on the fact that maybe the general public, the layman, you might be thinking that if you go to a psychologist or go to visit a therapist, you might be cuckoo. Maybe you have some thing, maybe skeleton in your head that
Yeah.
you need to clear out. Yeah, but even at
Hmm.
that, if one, although talking about it might seem easy, but I'm just imagining if one has been able to arrive at that point in their life in trying to manage a particular situation that they're into, to have accepted the fact that, look, I need to go to a therapist. Why should we care about what people think? But if I have to say it that way too, I might be very, very wrong if I don't know that people have a lot of insecurities about things that happen to them in life. So I
Right.
think you you saying that the
But
public might have a stigma against them is right, and somebody already in that kind of difficulties might generally accept it as well, accept that kind of thought, which is not exactly correct. And
right. But I want to highlight here the fact that what you just said now, if a person alone thinks or decides for a therapy, then I do believe they wouldn't care what the society thinks. However, there is a lot of cases when they are suggested the therapy.
mhm.
I have this and that going on. You should visit a therapist. If the person haven't thought of it alone and the person is not on and it was suggested either by a partner or by a friend or a family member or whatever, or maybe even a doctor, and you alone personally haven't thought about it, I think that this is where that questioning comes more of a nut.
Yeah, that may be, but on that particularly, I could also disagree a little bit in the sense that one thing that you may need a therapist is coming from a place of love. Maybe
Yes.
the person has actually seen the blind spot that you as a person is not seeing.
Mm, see, here is the problem, right? Because we are talking about people now and how we are learning from the mistakes or who we are or whatever.
Yeah, and especially
Not every,
why people refuses to learn from their mistake, if ever they
uh,
learn.
yeah, yeah, true. But you see, here is the thing, right? What we just mentioned now. When you're suggested this thing, I do personally think like, and if I was suggested to somebody, I would do it out of love and care for the person, because I would like really think like, listen, I do want to help you as a person, as a friend or a partner or whatever, but unfortunately, I'm not qualified enough to guide you through this hard patch in your life or whatever assistance you may need, right? And I would do it out of love. Now, how would the other person take it? Because today, to say anything to anyone can be taken out of context. So, does the person then, when it suggested this, taking it as love or taking it as mocking?
So
Or, yeah, I'll say mocking. Yeah, I'll stay with that
the,
word.
the thing is that you as a person, or maybe any person that may find themselves in that kind of situation, will not be wrong to have that doubt within themselves. How well do you actually see a thing to this particular person? But
Absolutely.
this, like I've always suggested to anyone in that kind of situation, at times, people, when they share their problem with us, they are not actually asking us for advice. One, maybe they just want to vent, they want to be able to express themselves and be listening here. Oftentimes, from people in that situation doesn't mean that I need your 2 cents concerning it. But it
Mhm.
is you as a person that has to be able to differentiate that personally. And another way to dance around it professionally, either you being a professional or as a normal human being, you ask the person, can I be direct with you? Do you really want me to tell you what I think about this thing? In that case, mentally, the person is a little bit relaxed and prepared for your actions.
Yes,
Now,
but
when they
sometimes,
are ready,
Pedro,
yes, yeah,
no, come on. Like, this is the positive side of it. This is like a pure positive side of humanity. It's
yeah,
not
but
always the
it's
case
not
because
blessed all the
sometimes,
time.
no, sometimes they ask you something and you want me to be honest and they say yes because that seems to be the right answer, but they are not ready to accept the truth or they are not ready for that kind of a truth. So,
Yeah,
it's hard.
that's
Like, you
true.
see,
But
this is
this
one
is
of the
something that we
reasons.
need to learn to as well, Tesha. You have given advice to someone, doesn't mean
Yes,
that they are going to take it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
I do agree. But the fact is that we need to highlight the people that are like that as well. Because these people clearly are on the stage where they need to learn those things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And if not anything else, like accept the truth. If you're asking for the truth, then you need to be ready to accept it, whatever
yes,
kind it might be.
absolutely. Then, fine. Do you, because our discussion here into this aspect of psychology and everything, even though that was not what we intended, I really like it because it was an aspect that I didn't envision before having this conversation today with you. However,
Hmm.
I would like to ask, does certain mistakes you have made in life, does it mean that it is possible for a therapist to be able to help us address that aspect in our life? And if, for instance, my relationship went south, what does a therapist has to do with it? I'm
It's
trying to,
your
I'm trying to,
struggles.
good.
It's your struggles. It's not like it's not the therapist is not gonna fix your problems. I mean, hello, he's not there to fix your problems. But he
Okay.
might guide, like, I I don't know. Like, I personally still think to this day that I should be the one who would consider going to therapist. And it's only because I think that the past demons that I have personally, with whatever I've been through or whatever I've done in my life,
Yes.
although I still didn't process them to the extent that it would be completely like, oh, I let it go. And they do come, like, there are certain situations in my life where I find myself, like, whether exploding too fast without even thinking, and then I go back to the situation that has happened that forced me to react like that, as in like a protection kind of a way. um
Mhm.
so I would need, like, again, listen, I read books, right? I google the books, well, even audio books now, and I'm listening and everything, and that's all fine. I'm listening, I'm learning. But the thing is
Yes.
that working, like, I am not in a debate with a person. I'm just listening to the book or reading a book or listening to the podcast or whatever I am at that moment, and I'm like, yeah, 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 that's me, that's how, yeah, exactly. But knowing it doesn't mean that I'm doing something for it or about it. You get me? When you have that, a stranger who is involved in a conversation and is asking you deep questions, what has happened, like, how did that make you feel, or what. I'm being smart, I had never been at the therapist, I'm just saying what I saw in the movies. But um, I see a therapist as somebody who might really help you to overcome certain demons that you have and move past them, work on them, or in a couple if that's the case. And I think that it can make the situation much easier.
That's a good one. The thing is that,
I don't know. What is
yes,
your thought about it? I've never been to a therapist. I'm being now smart and ooh,
yes,
but I don't
that
know.
is my curiosity is actually that. Like, I'm genuinely curious about it. And in part, you said therapist is not supposed to help you resolve your problem. Then my question, therefore, is if that's the case, then why should I go to a therapist? And I ask that question because I'm genuinely curious. If I have a problem for a person that tend to be logical in finding a pragmatic solution to their problem.
But
So
do
I don't
people
think,
go? I don't think people go to a therapist when they, like, I don't know, they get stuck, or just one mistake happened. I think that this therapy has to do with certain pattern, or something like dramatic that happens and it has like a serious effect on you. Like, I'm gonna be now straightforward. Like, let's say sexual assault. When a person, like, recovers from it, like, I'll say physically, um, um, mentally, the person even if it's 5 years, might move past that stage of like crying every night or day or whatever, and suffering mentally for that. But let's say, let me use an example now to make it clear. A girl that was sexually assaulted at the young age, let's say, I don't know, 15, okay? I'm speaking out of my mind. um, Obviously she had parents there, and obviously the doctors and stuff fixed her, when it comes to physically, um, helped her to heal in whatever way she needed to. um, but they're inner wounds, and this is something that a person will really struggle with. This is something that it doesn't go easily away. This is something that never goes away. But let's say the person then is in the 20s. So for the past, let's say 5, 6, 7 years, was guided by the parents, was, okay, physically in a shape again, um, but mentally smiled and everything, but every night had the, nightmares waking her up of the event that happened. Now let's say this girl falls in love, right? She finds a boyfriend. First of all, no matter the falling in love, there is that trauma that is presented inside a person that it will give her who a lot of struggles when it comes to, am I being loved, am I being used, how to, sexually getting involved with a person, let's say, you know um, it's a lot of things. There might be things that, like, he will wear the perfume that will smell or remind her of the smell of the person that sexually assaulted her, or like, they will go in a, I don't know, at a tunnel where it happened, for
It's
example.
called essay. You can't, if you use sexual assaulted, YouTube don't like it, or Facebook. Just say essay, no. Otherwise, they're going to ban us from speaking. So they don't like it.
Okay, no, but no, okay, fine, I'm sorry for that, but I'm saying that,
Yeah.
you see, emotionally, psychologically, she's not there. She needs help how to get involved in a further relationship or the first relationship, how to move from that. Because let's say that even if she's not aware of that, she goes in a relationship, right? And there are like demons that are gonna be hunting her and causing her problems. And that relationship is gonna end, for example. She's gonna go into a next relationship and the pattern is gonna repeat. Now, let's say at the age of 30, she's still single. She doesn't know what is going on. She knows that she wants somebody, but she's struggling. Now, this is the person that is healthy for a therapy. I use like a very uh, big example, but I want, you know, to go deeper in it so you maybe you or somebody else can understand it a little bit better from this perspective, that this is not just a
Yes.
mistake that has happened. I don't know, I've done something, I don't know, 1 week ago. I really need a therapist to help me with it. Yeah, maybe yes, because it might be something dramatic. And you, as a person, psychologically alone or with the help of your, close ones, cannot pass that. Fine. But I'm saying that, those are patterns that are keep repeating. And I think that those are the people that are mature for the therapy. Yeah.
There's no doubt
Sorry,
that.
YouTube.
No, no,
Sorry, Pedro.
no. Is the rule for for social media platform. Those terminology they don't
Understood.
accept it. It's just too crazy. So the thing is that everybody. I, I don't have anything against therapy at all. I don't want to even give that impression in any shape or form. But I'm also of the idea, I genuinely believe this, that therapy today is the new religion because it's like a solution for everything. So I'm kind of confused how exactly is this a solution for almost everything that I see today, the way people talk about it. It's just like, and the new part now is that almost everybody have mental health issue. It might be true, it might be fine, but how really is that? How do we really not distinguish between who actually have mental health issue or not? Because if for whatever anything that anyone has done, or even treating their fellow human being badly everything, almost everything is categorized as the person suffering from mental issue, health issue, and trauma and everything. I think it water down or devalue those that are actually a victim or suffer from those kind of problems. But
Yeah.
this is a debate for another day. It's something that we as a society have to really confront because I believe that the monster today lurking in the dark, waiting for all of us to kind of do something about it. However, going back to the story that you relate, which could generally be something, which is something very common. My question, therefore, if, for instance, based on the story that you relate, those people that person tried to go upon a relationship with that suffered from that relationship due to her trauma
Hmm.
because she's not able to build something concrete with somebody else again today due to what happened to her, which in the first
Hmm.
place is not her fault. That cannot be considered her own mistake. But those that suffer from that particular mistake are people that know nothing about that particular mistake. Do you think it's fair? Why should I suffer for the sin that I didn't commit? Or for the fact that I'm loving you, trying to build my life together with you?
I mean, you can see it like that, but
Genuine question. No,
no. Listen, yes, I know it's like you can take it both ways. I personally, I can't say why am I, yeah, in a way, yeah, why am I suffering? But then I'm not understanding the person as well. Yeah, I mean, okay, if I'm the if
remember the question I asked is that if people ever learn from their mistake, if don't you think it would have been more genuine for a human being to have realized that look, I have this problem, I should get healing first before going into a kind of commitment with anybody. Why would I genuinely know that
obviously,
I have this problem, go into something like that with somebody to make me suffer?
listen, if I am aware, then the other person doesn't deserve to pay for whatever. You understand? It wouldn't be fair for me. Let's say in this case, we used it to go in a relationship and stuff. But sometimes there are certain things maybe that you are not aware of, and I do understand the let's say the other partner. Then when he says or she says like, why am I being the bad guy, or why am I paying the price now for what happened to you in the past? I'm not that person, and I completely get it. I would probably react the same way. But then, now that I can be here and think about it, is also from the other perspective. Like, I am not really trying to understand the person. I know I'm not that human being who caused the issue or whatever. You understand?
Mhm.
But if I am here and loving this person or caring for whatever reason, you understand, why am I not stopping that pattern and be there for that person? And like, okay, listen, I'm not that person. I'll do all my best to help you. I'll give you time or whatever. You understand? It all depends what you want. Like we spoke about the relationship example. So that's a bit different. Like, okay, there are some people that are not going to wait 10, 15 years. And to be honest, like, I wouldn't either. You give some time and see if the person is like ready to accept the help and is working towards their demons and trying to fix the mistakes and issues and traumas and whatever it's causing the issue. Then obviously you are there for the person, right? You don't just leave the person hanging if you love them or care for them. So that's why I said, it's both. Like, yes, the first reaction would probably be like, oh yeah, oh come on, it's not my fault. I'm not that person. Deal with it. But is that also the right thing to do?
But I think it's genuinely wrong and it's not a genuine effort. I know that building relationship, defining love is important, but if for whatever reason one look for a partner, look, I have these demons in my closet that I need to take care of and decide to pursue a relationship with somebody else. Either the person is forthcoming and share these things with the person, at least if the other party is interested and want to go on that journey with the person, it is more understandable. But I also want to agree with you to some extent that look, maybe the person didn't know, but what if they now know and the partner still remain? Because
Or what if they're the type, sorry, or what if they're the type of a person that they believe that the new relationship is gonna fix it? You don't know, because it also depends on the traumas that they are dealing with. But some people believe
that
just
is
changing a
wrong.
partner. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong for us looking from like the distance, or just talking and creating our story, a scenario, and going around it. But to the person that is involved, they might not be aware of how deep it is. They might not be aware that it's their demons. You understand? Maybe until later on, when the pattern repeats so many times, let's say, or somebody really points a finger on it. You understand? Because listen, let's be honest. Like, I, the case I used, a young person is maybe unaware. We are not talking about adult. Like the particular case that I used, it's something that happens to a developing person who, in those times endured something so dramatic that it might impacted her ability of knowing what even true love is. It might be a developmental thing that just happens to her, because it happened, let's say, in a process of her just recognizing those emotions or learning from it. But all she knew from that stage on was pain, nightmares, bad memories, and stuff like that. So you also need to understand from that perspective. A person like that, when they are like, I don't know, 20, 22, not being in a relationship because she was protected by parents, let's say, or whatever, cannot know. And yes, she's gonna enter because it's naturally to enter the relationship, not knowing or not being aware of those things. So I think that we need to be very careful when we, point a finger on that, because yes, there are people that are aware and they continue, and they, it's just toxic and poisonous. They don't even want to seek for help. They just want to go and affect other people with the negativity. But those are different kind of people.
That's
Those
true,
people
but
that we,
I
yeah.
really believe, Tasha, that it's also my responsibility as a person to protect the person that I'm being in love with, that I'm trying to do something with. If genuinely I know that I have some skeleton in my closet and it might interfere in my relationship with the other person in a very negative way, I
it's
believe I
it's
should
it's
be able
very
to show
true.
it.
But Pedro, you being a healthy person, mentally, emotionally, physically, you might see it from this perspective, and that's totally fine and it's okay. But it is not the fact with every single one. Again, we are two adults now who have, in a way, our lives kind of assorted. So we are now looking at this from our perspective, with our mentality, with our experiences.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, not every case is the same. So that's
True.
why that's in why in a particular I used the case that I used, and
Mhm.
the why I said it the way I said it. Again, sorry for that, but obviously I went too far. But it is important that we are aware of that. And although you did mention, I caught you there before when you said it's not that common, it's more common than we know. It's just that people don't speak about it.
Mhm.
It's something very hard to talk about. But I use this as an example because I know the cases. I might be one of them. You understand, and so on and so on. That I want I want people to know that not just this particular thing, but there are things in our lives that happen that have a significant impact on us, even when we are adults, when we think that we moved on, when we have families established and stuff. and it might be part of your life where you completely forget, like it gets blank, and you think, oh, I got over it, and then something happens and it triggers this back. So we need to take those things in consideration when we are talking about, health and learning from mistakes and stuff like that.
So true.
However, I find it very important in that case that people are aware, like if you have traumas and like your personal demons or like stuff like that, and somebody points it out to you or somebody offers you help, that I would encourage them to take it, because it's not for
Yes.
nothing. Nobody is mocking you, they just want to help you.
It
So,
could be coming from a place of love. Everything is
yes,
not just that negative. And
yeah.
that to that too, I will add what I said earlier on as well. Look, it is not nice that other people become the making other people a victim of your past experience. It's not a nice thing, and it's not a thing that anybody that is noble, that is kind-hearted will do. You don't punish other people for a thing that has happened to you in your life. And this oftentimes happens in relationships. I have met situations of people, because their man, their ex treated them one way or the other. The next person in line now they have to bear all the consequences of what the person that is no longer in their life has done. And it doesn't lead to being able to create a healthy relationship. It becomes toxic, suspicious, and where there is no trust, there is no how that kind of relationship will flourish. And that's the reason why I'm asking, for instance, if one can be able to trust other people, if they have failed in one way or the other to have been betrayed by the person that they so trust. Using an example, for instance, that we have been using our discussion this far. If, for instance, I meet a person today, I happen to be madly in love with that person, and maybe along the line, the person knew for a fact that, look, I have these skeletons in my cupboard, and the person didn't share it with me. So I am dealing with some issues in the relationship, in our ability to be able to work together as a person. But maybe after so many years into that thing together with the person, I, it now becomes clear to me, or I happen to come to the realization, I'm aware of it, and look, this is the reason why this person is behaving this way. And the person actually didn't share with me. Am I justified to feel a sense of betrayal? Will it be a problem if I find it difficult to
uh,
trust a person like that?
doesn't this depend on the person, like, I mean, each individual different. I don't think that it's wrong to think either way. I don't know why, but like, if I put myself in both scenarios, like, I would be wrong to say that is wrong or right. I think that it depends on the person, how, like, in general, how you take things, or like, the issues that you were going through. But I don't think that, like, it's very hard to say it, because like I personally can speak from my experience. I went past everything. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing that I personally cannot get past, and maybe this is where I would need help, is like, um it affects, to some extent, like if, uh, alcohol, for example, if I smell alcohol, or like the old smell of alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
that's when this is something that triggers my memories.
Yes.
And this is something that, like, I can't. This part I can't. With However, with everything else, I was able, without a therapist though. I
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of get past that it didn't affect. However, this is the part that I just can't, Pedro. And is it fair like then on my husband, for example? I don't know. But at that moment, I don't care. I'm sorry. Like I tried everything. Is something that's why I said before that I might, consider to fix that part of me also. But the only thing I ask him is like, you just need to understand, like, this is something that I can't. Like, we can work past everything together, but here I will need your understanding. Is it selfish of me because I'm bringing my old demons? Well, I don't know, Pedro. But in that moment, he's the only one that I can trust and I can rely on. And I expect him then for him to stand by my side. Since we were using this examples now, if I may to put my two senses in.
Absolutely. Even the way you explain
Yeah,
that, there is a discussion about it. You made the person aware of this and everything. So
yeah,
he's not in the dark. But I'm
yeah.
actually talking about those that are in the dark because
Right. Now see, this is the thing, right? I took a long, 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 long time to discover which things are triggering me or which things are upsetting me, that I was able to then work through them and
okay,
within myself then, try to explain, listen, it is not his fault or her fault or whatever. Don't react like that. And through experiences then learn how to accept them, or how to teach them how to accept me in some cases. And now, why I said that is, when you mentioned, it also depends how fresh the wounds are, um, how much time has passed and what kind of a person are we even talking about. So you need to take all of these things in consideration. But however, I will repeat again, I learned, you understand? It made me stronger. It made me know myself more, even psychologically. Because I was keep asking myself questions like, what is that? Like, is this bothering you? And I actually went and I was smelling like, let's say, I don't know, I smelled the beer. Is that bothering you? Okay, it's not that particular smell. I went and I was like, I tried to work on myself. This is, I mean, we are even talking about learning, right? How to learn with what you have. But again, it took me years, Pedro. It didn't come from today to tomorrow.
how many people
So
suffered from this experience of yours?
I,
In
I
other words,
statistically,
okay.
don't have,
No,
any results
I'm
on.
just asking generally. I'm not trying to
Listen,
ask you about your
know,
relationship.
I know, no, yeah, I know what you mean, but there is a lot of people, a lot, uh, uh a lot. You would be surprised.
I
You would be
understand that you
surprised.
said that. I understand that you said that when you have that moment, all those triggering events that bring back your trauma and the rest,
Hmm.
you really not care at that particular moment. But do you think it is fair on those around you that has to go through these things?
Um, no and yes, because no, it might come like a little bit selfish, but then at the same time, this might be, let's say, a negative part of me that might be affecting to some extent. Um, but there might be another person's something that is affecting me to some kind. We will all agree to the fact that relationship is a compromise. It's also sacrificing. It's understanding. It's respect. And listen, I come in a
Absolutely.
package,
Absolutely.
and this is
And
my package. Yes,
when it is when you are
yes,
upfront with it, it's understandable.
like for example, me, I came forward to my husband immediately. I mean, at that moment, not my husband yet, but I told him like this and that and this and that. This has happened. I do suffer with this and that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am working in progress. I have my mistakes and stuff. Although
You are one in a
sometimes
million
they're bigger.
times. You are one in a
What?
million, believe it. You are one in
N-
a
uh,
million.
One in
Believe
million.
that.
Listen,
Don't take it for granted. A majority of people don't do that. People can hide secrets, especially things that they believe. We said earlier on that we live in a very selfish world today. You will be so,
right?
you know, I'm trying not to be controversial, but I'm genuinely trying not to. It's not as if we are not supposed to be. Do you know that people in this world today might sound crazy to you, but do you know that people can have children for other people that is not of their it's not for their husband or their wife and keep it for years? They don't share it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is one thing that I mean, maybe because of the nature of my drama, maybe there are dramas that I wouldn't say. I don't know. I mean, being the type of a person, I will probably blab everything out. Yeah, but it is something that can affect you. We spoke about this particular case, and I'm saying it again. This is a particular case that can affect you very much so. It might bring you to the extent that you become a completely anti relationship or anti man or anti whatever,
Yeah,
right?
but
We need, and
how,
it's,
how
and
do
it's,
you learn from it? How do you become
how
a
do you,
better person from it?
I don't know. I
Do
think that
you do
those,
you live to learn or learn to live then? And how do
okay,
you proceed?
I go by both. You're learning, you are living to learn how to live.
You are living to learn how to live.
Yeah. I think that it's like,
Does that mean that you will accept the consequences of whatever it is? Because we cannot all be victims of circumstances around us. Some actions,
no,
I'm not talking about every year. I'm speaking generally. We use the every
absolutely.
experience as an example. Some
Yeah.
things we could be a party to the incident that happened. We speak
Hmm.
generally as a mistake. Fine.
Yeah.
Some mistake, it's a mistake because oftentimes it's actually caused or triggered by us, the event that happened. That is why it could be
Hmm.
justified as a mistake, could be recognized as a mistake. Otherwise, it's going to, on the part of every other person, it's going to be an act of damage, injury, or whatsoever that is caused to the other person. But if mistake ordinarily means that it was not intentional,
Hmm.
it happened without intention of the person that is involved in it for the things to have gone that way. However, if you now hold it, not you don't learn from it, you treat others with it as an experience, then in my opinion it becomes a problem. Not only for the person that has suffered or that have that trauma, but even those that are dealing with the person. So, and this could happen in your place of work, in persons in our private life, and even generally as a society. Why do people not vote anymore for the political party or the politician that they once followed or vote for in the past? It's because that they felt a sense of betrayal from the person. A lot of things that they didn't know. Some things came became clear to the public, and they discovered that the person was not the person that they once thought that the person is. So generally, I brought it down to the personal level to some extent. That's the reason why I actually use interpersonal relationship on the love aspect of it. If I am
Hmm.
genuinely in love with you, I meant you, and you know that with these things behind, you know all of it because we always emphasize open communication in relation, right?
Hmm.
So we generally do. You are able to do it, good for you. It's a very beautiful thing. But most people are not able to do it. At the same time, they are the same people that will complain about the relationship not going well the way they has anticipated it to be, but
Hmm.
there's a lot on their part that is not coming. They only do the talk, they don't do the work. You have all of these things. You didn't tell me, so I didn't know how I would be able to even manage the relationship that I have with you. I
Yeah.
always experience pushback. There are things that were not clear, anger and bitterness. And above all, I'm a victim. I'm being punished by a crime that I didn't even commit. I didn't know you 10 or 20 years ago. But I'm happy where
Uh,
we are today. Can we fix this? Can we what? But I'm
I
happy.
I know what you mean, and in that case, it is not fair, and the other person, the other party, in that case, should not. I mean, doesn't deserve that. It's very selfish. I do agree with that. In that particular case, the way you described it now, I completely agree. It's like if you're aware, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Why? It's toxic. Yes.
Otherwise, it seems to me that you are not learning from the mistakes.
Okay. Do you know only people that learn from the mistake? Like honestly, looking back in
Speaking
your
generally,
life,
almost everybody learns from the mistake. Speaking generally,
but then I'll ask you on a personal level now. Personally,
most
do you know
personally, most
only the
people don't learn
people?
from their mistake.
Exactly. Thank you. You see?
Personally, most people don't learn from their mistake.
Uh huh. But now I'm asking also, do we think that they didn't learn or they actually didn't learn? It's also one thing. Because what
It could
we
be with
might,
an act of refusal.
okay, yeah,
It could be egoistic. At the same time,
mm-hmm,
being an act of refusal. It could be, people do things to buy time. Maybe they are expecting, because here now we are speaking as mind readers whatsoever, but generally that is often time that is how relationship work. We have
yeah,
communicated expectation from our partners or the person, the people we're in love with across culture. It's not a thing that is happening in the West only or in the other parts of the world. It's generally the way it is. And unexpected communication is there, and when one is not being forthcoming, it becomes a problem. So people, we tend to believe, we generally experience, we want to believe that we learn from history, we learn from our mistakes of the past and the rest. But oftentimes, with the action that we carry out every now and then, it becomes clear to us that we do not learn from mistakes. Theater.
mhm.
Even if as a society, if we are good at learning from our mistakes, there wouldn't be any form of war in the world
But
that we live in today.
that's why I said when you, I mean, that's why I reacted to generally. Yeah, okay, fine, generally. you know, these statistics really bother me. The way they calculate it, it's like, oh, I don't like it. Because if you would ask me, this generally would be that people do not learn from their mistakes. However, I will say, I mentioned at the beginning, right? I said that I feel like the personal level of mistakes, it's very hard for them to fix. And mostly the mistakes that are highlighted or there are more are on a personal level anyway.
Good.
You
Anyway,
know, because
like I
these
said, let me give
statistics,
a shout out. Let me give a shout out to those watching us from YouTube.
oh yes,
Abiki,
please.
respect to Abiki. Thanks for stopping by. And many thanks to David Foster. Thanks for stopping by as well. He sent his greetings to us, and we are giving you back our greetings. Hi, David. Special greetings to you. It's so good to see you guys here. And please share with us what you all think about this particular topic today. Do people live to learn or do they learn to live? Tiaka said that she is of the opinion that you learn to live, to learn how to live.
N- no, you are leaving to learn how to leave.
How to live. You are living to learn how to live. That is what Tiaka believe. I kind of share it, fine. But I am in my
Oh, get your
personal
own one, Pedro.
Yeah, in my own crazy world, I do believe that it is actually really, really bad that some of us who know that we have this trauma and everything in our life, we don't share it with those that we also say that we really love them. We want to build life in the future together with them. I do believe that it is a sin. If you know that there are skeletons in your cupboard that need to be cleared, you can do that together with your partner and even do the therapy session together. I believe in that very, very well because living healthy in our relationship, our home, it also affects our productivity. Let us not underestimate it. If one is not happy with himself, no matter what you try to do, it becomes an issue with them. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, you will also be the victim to it as well. So, I don't encourage any form of toxic relationship. It's not helpful in any way. But that is not to say that these things cannot be managed. That is the reason why therapy and everything are there. And that is also the reason why communications, conversations of this nature that like we are having now is also there for us to pick one or two things and be able to amend our ways in life. Because trust, Tiasha, is something that is very lacking in our world. Almost
Yes.
everybody knows what the other person should be doing with their life. I can tell you that 90% of people that know me, if you ask them or interview them, they are going to have one or two ideas that they believe that I can live my life better.
Hmm.
Is that really true? That is possibly not true because it's my life.
Uh,
When I sleep at night,
mm,
when I drink,
this is
when I
this
go
is the problem. I think that this is one of the reasons why so many people, can I just highlight one thing from the previous podcast that we had when we
okay.
were talking about particularly women
Mhm.
that share everything with their friends.
Yes.
And here is where I if I can bring from that topic now here in these people that are doing that are also allowing your friends that you tell everything, and by everything I mean everything. You get into your intimacy, and that person, because you shared so much with him, her, then feels like she or he is entitled to tell you how to do things or what you should have done and stuff like that. Because the more you share, the more they want to contribute.
Mhm.
So I think that and with this is like it's this is the problem then, in a communication. See how it goes, right? You are able to say anything and everything, but then when it comes to accepting also back, you find it, of a problem. Like I always say, well, you caused it, so don't complain now that the person is getting involved.
Yes.
You shouldn't even expect any less.
You took it out of my mouth? Yes. I 100% agree.
If you don't tell the person all your business, the person cannot be part of your fucking business. So don't let the person step in, especially not to the parts like you're gonna complain about your husband. Let's give me an example, okay? Blah blah blah. He's so bad. He did this. He did that. Blah blah blah. The only thing that this leave him, or he's an idiot, or you're gonna hear negative stuff, but you don't want to hear them. Yeah, then don't share those things with the person. You understand? Learn from that, god damn it. Don't complain, don't come then to other, she said this and that about I can't have friends talking about my husband like that. Yeah, well, this is what you taught her.
Absolutely.
Those are your words. You understand? And just because you talk and share everything about everything, and disgusting topics and less disgusting topics, and intimate and less intimate, and whatever, what do you expect then? So yes,
So
it's like
true.
I always say, it's your fault. It's
So
your
true.
fault.
So true. Seriously, like we were saying, being able to trust is a huge problem in the world, and some of these issues that destroy our ability to trust others, it is when we discover or sense that somebody that we trust so well is hiding things that could have easily be shared with us, and we kind of suffer from it. And that leads me to the other thought or question that I would like us to rub mind on tonight, session. Like, when exactly, when will it ever be okay to hold on to our past experience, even though they are hindering our progression in life?
Uh, um, um, I'll put it like that. Holding on to, and like if it was negative in holding on to, then definitely not. However, um, how can I put this that it's gonna make sense? I really want to word it right. Everything that has happened to you, me, to others is part of our life. It's our part of growth, of learning, whatever we took out, be it negative, be it positive, be it, effective of any sort.
Yes.
Um, I am not saying you need to hold on to it, but I want us all to learn from it and better ourselves with it. So if that means holding on, I'll say do not forget it. Do not forget on your past experiences. Hold on to it within your memory as of um, your learning process. Not taking the negative stuff out. If we can learn from it, from, let's say, the negative part should be the growth process. We're gonna take the growth process, and we the energy of the negativity should be our growth process, but seeing it back should be a memory of why we are who we are today. Does that make sense? Did I word it correct? I don't know if you understood the way I want you to understand what I meant with it. I'm not saying holding on and affect it, like keeping it to extent that it's gonna affect your present or even future, but holding on to it as a part of your growth. Yeah, let me put it like that, and then probably you're gonna have a sub question.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
know you.
possible. That's possible. The thing is that I believe that too. That if you don't, I believe that if your heart is where you are coming from, you can't go forward. You can't go on. If I really have to think and put into consideration all the bad things that have happened to me in life, I think I will be too paralyzed with fear. I may not even go out of my house. However,
Yes. Are you holding on to them?
that's the reason why, not that I have forgotten about it, I do know what happened and everything, but it's a bygone for me.
Hmm.
I have been able to overcome that already.
Hmm. But there are
For me,
moments in your life when you do remember, right?
absolutely. Why do we have memories as a human being? We
Hmm.
have memories. It's
Exactly.
set for that. That's the purpose of having a memory. You know, the title of our discussion today is that, do you live to learn or learn to live?
I'm
In
still
other words,
insistent.
it's a question of memory we're talking about here.
No, exactly. But what I meant with that is, you see, you have very bad experiences in your life on your path
Mhm.
that led you to the type of a person you are today and where you are.
Absolutely.
You know, when, like, let's just use one example to make it a little bit more clear. There has been a couple of times now when we spoke about our bad experience we shared in Cyprus, for example. And you know, some people might take it as we both are holding on to it, holding on to that negative experience that we had there. However, for me and you, it is only and really only a memory that me and you can laugh on today. But it's also for us. I mean, no, I will speak for both of us. I'm sorry, that I'm taking this, but I'll say for both
Go
of us,
on.
I see it as a huge step towards a better version of ourselves, because the lowest of low that we've been through pushed us. I can speak now, I'll say for myself, and I know I'll possibly say it for you as well, that that bad experience also triggered in us something more of, that special need to help people when they're faced in the certain similar situations like me and you were, or even you for that matter, in more serious than me. But I'm saying that people might think, oh my God, look at them, they might be holding on. And this is where I wanted to make it clear before, that it is not as such holding on and, living with it. I'm not crying about Cyprus every day. You know what I mean? But it's where I am today because of it. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
It was a stepping stone for me. And it
Mm-hmm.
toughens me up. It
Yeah.
toughens me up to accept life the way it is in Europe. Because
Mm-hmm.
it was the first cultural shock for me to have met a life the way it was there for me. But
Mm-hmm.
it was also because of the class that I was in that society. Not necessarily because life is bad in that society. It was purely because of the class that I was into. That's
Mm-hmm.
the reason why it was or it was a negative experience in my case. But that was just for a time. It doesn't mean if I go there today, it will be the same thing. Because obviously,
No, no, but it's that's why I said, you might go to see the house you shared. Like I said, if I'm going back, I'm going there.
I would
Like
love to.
I want to see my street. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Pedro. We need to go. Like, if I have a
So,
chance, I would like to go. I really love the balcony that you had in your house. Looking on the main street, and I had the
oh,
surveillance over. Yeah. So, if I had the chance now, I would like to go to stand on that balcony. I can't go in my old house because, unfortunately, but still, I would go at least to see the landlords and stuff, like those things. And I would relive it there and walk down, I don't know, Molos and, the new marina and all of that. And it's just, relieve. Hey, do you remember we were drinking beer here? Or we were, it's those
yeah.
things. Yeah.
Discussing, a long discussion into the night and everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What memories
I know.
unbelievable. And look at where we are today.
We
So,
learned.
of course, seriously. In fact, that's the reason why I'm asking when exactly do you let go? Because some people actually destroy their present because holding on to their past. And I know it's going to sound cliche, but however, I believe you, Tiasha, even as a woman, you might have heard before now that just like in the case of men, most men will say all men are the same. Men are this,
Yeah.
they are this, they are that. Probably because of their experience. And I happen to believe philosophically that things are what you call them. If you are not being positive about a particular thing, you don't expect that thing to be positive. You don't, if you are negative about everything, it will be practically impossible for things to just turn out automatically to be positive. There are
Yeah.
metaphysical power, and I was not joking personally when I said that today I now believe that therapy is a new form of religion. If you believe anything, it works for you. either positive or negative. So that is why it's generally advised that instead of using your metaphysical power to think about negative things, think of positive things. Practice positive affirmation. Be mindful and be selective of your friends as well. Those things are not being said to us simply because the people that are saying they don't know what to do, because it actually works. So I personally, even considering this question, I know for a fact with the way I approach things in life, if the negative thing is coming, it will hit me and bounce back. Because I want to have that positive ambient around me all the time. I want to be, when I walk into the room, whether you like my face or you don't like my face, it's one thing that we at least say that look, I came with an aura of positivity. I don't even allow people communicate negativity into my life. I
Hmm.
forgive, but not that I have forgotten.
Yeah.
So it is in my memory. I learn with it, but I learn to treat you better with it because I also don't want to change from being that positive type to now being negative because you, as a person, have done things that is now forcing me to condition myself to now start thinking in a way or being in a circumstance or an environment that I don't want to be.
Don't
This
you think
is
that this in general happens to people pleasers?
That's a huge problem as well. That's low self-esteem. How do you become people's preacher? It is having low self-esteem. But you know a lot of things you
And
can
what
do
you
to
what you
have
just
self-esteem.
described now,
Mhm.
what you just said now, it has a lot to do with self-esteem, because
Absolutely.
if you're not confident, forget about it. You always gonna fall under somebody else's either advice, influence, or whatever sort of that might be. uh but also, uh if somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I'll use my example, maybe met me 20 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and done some things, let's say whatever sort, and somebody would meet me today and done some like the same thing, I would react completely different. I would take it completely different. You know what I mean? So it's that's why I said, um I yeah, I still stand by that. I'm leaving to learn how to leave. I stand by it 100 million trillion %. Because I need to make mistakes, go through drama, go through hard times, go through betrayal of whatever sort. I need to experience all of that, learn from it, and then when I learn from it and see it, I will see it from different perspective, which will give me a boost to live and learn how to live with it, or
Mm-hmm.
by it, or for it, or whatever that is.
I really like this statement, living to learn how to live.
Yeah.
That should be a word on the map. I'm going to write that somewhere and keep it as
and
a
and and
metastatic
please,
as
if you put it on that sticky note by your mirror, you need to write by Tiasha, because I know you have this
absolutely.
by Pluto and stuff. Make me feel special.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. There is no way
Oh god.
I'm not going to give you credit for what you have done. That's really,
Oh, I don't know.
really
I don't know. Can you please? I know. You know what? I'm going to Google it now. Now I'm gonna be disappointed because somebody said that. I'm telling you now. Wait. Leaving to learn how to
to live.
leave. I'm telling you now that somebody said that. Definitely, because I'm not that smart.
No,
Okay, so quote by Lucius whatever Seneca. It takes the whole of life to learn how to live.
that's a different way of say it.
Yeah, it's not the
Seneca
same. Living
wrote a
to
book
learn.
philosopher. So fine. How
Maybe I just invented a quote. Ah,
it's possible. You've
imagine
done it.
that. Hey,
You've done it.
I might.
Living
I
to
can't
learn how
find
to
it,
live.
but I don't. I also don't have really time to spend it now googling. But it might.
Living to learn how to
Imagine
live.
that. You're gonna Google
Living to learn
inside
how to live.
my name, and there is gonna be a famous quote. One
Living
day,
to learn
people.
how to live. That's a lovely one. Living to learn how to
Um,
live. I really like that. Living to learn how to live. So, like I was saying, if your mind is where you are coming from, it will be practically difficult for the person to go on in life in a particular
yeah.
direction. And this is not being a motivational speaker or whatever. There are some things in life hold true no matter where you are coming from, no matter where you are in life. If you think positively, positive things on average happens to you. It brightens you
Hmm.
inwardly. Your inner mind becomes more clearer and everything. It is more of a weight, a heavy burden to bear, being hateful, being revengeful, or whatsoever. It is more lighter and easy to be being forgiving. And mind you, guys, I'm not saying that you forgive the person, but I'm not telling you to forget if it's not your cup of tea. I know that some people will say that I've forgiven and I've forgotten as well. I don't know how they're able to do it. So and maybe that's the reason why we have some of the problem we have in the world. People forgive and forget, and the cycle continue, they continue to make and repeat the same mistakes over and over again. It happens in the way our societies are being managed. It happens even at the level of, at the international level, because if we could actually have a very good memory of how things were in the world about 80 years ago, some of the things going on right now will be going on. So I don't want to
Yeah.
politicize our discussion and everything, but I believe you get
No,
to
but listen. I mean, it's not throwing it in any direction. It's the stating facts. But then also, um, I want to ask here, and yeah, I will use this example that you used, although it's a politically whatever.
Mhm.
Mm, is it the mistakes or is it the intentions? When it comes to wars, because I don't think that is war a mistake or an intention.
Tiashka, or anybody listening to me, when these things happen, they are just two purposes for it, for access and influence.
Yeah, you see.
You do these things to have access to a particular territory, to maintain a steady flow of whatever you are getting in that particular territory, and above
Hmm.
all, to have influence.
Hmm. Yeah. So again, are we gonna consider it as what they are doing a mistake or intention?
It's a mistake, it's an intentional mistake because we do know for a fact that we have prayed. There is a reason why we now have what is called United Nations today. It
Okay.
was an
Yes.
organization born out of a very dark moment that the world had gone through, and we decided that look, we will unite, we will even custom ourselves in case one of us want to do something little, we will tell them, yes, no, please, guys,
Hmm.
we can resolve this amicably. We can sit down and everything and really talk.
Hmm.
But however, the person that made the rules didn't even respect the rules.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're going. I agree. Okay.
So
Yeah.
the person didn't even respect the rules. So what do you expect others to do?
Hmm.
So let's call it spade a spade. It's a very crazy thing. But however, It is purely for access and influence. There are no other any other thing you hear blah 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 to justify whatever it is. Is just to be able to convince the public why they should support them in doing that. Then is you do this thing historically for access and influence, nothing more, nothing
Hmm.
more. For access and influence. And from this part of the world that you and I live, we have been under an influence of
Oh
ignorance for
yeah.
a long time, for more than 80 years. It's so crazy. So that that's it. Going going back to our discussion, if you if you have to hold on to the past for too much, it may hinder one's progress. That could be in a relationship or whatsoever. And I know that I've used the word relationship over and over again today because I know people that could have been living, having a very beautiful life together with their partners for whatever reason, for whatever reason that they held on to so dearly, even to the extreme of negativity. They can't just enjoy a very simple moment of life. And this to
Hmm.
me is not nice. That's the reason why, for instance, you see people using their children as a bargain chip, as a chip of bargain whatsoever, when when there is the issue of separation whatsoever. Uh, and I could go on citing various examples.
No, I mean this what you just said now is it's 0.0001% of the issues that are we would need to describe in this case.
Uh,
Literally. There is, yeah, listen, with the one word, society is broken. We are wrong. We as humans have failed. The moral standard has fallen, and we could go on and on and on. Um,
mhm,
but this topic is also, you see, it's not just about this motto or whatever. It's about what is inside it. How do we even approach life? You know, because I came across some time ago. You know, even the saying in English goes like, "We live to learn." Right? When something like this happens, we always say, "Hey, we live to learn." And I came some time ago. Somebody said, "No, we we learn to leave." But it was, you can't blame the person because just the person has more positive approach to life. It's like, okay, I'm aware of their issues. I'm aware of, they took it to this extent. Like, leave to learn is like you are leaving to learn. And then they say, okay, so what when you die? What? You're just gonna die smarter. No, you have one life. You should learn to leave. You see the approach. And then
mhm.
when you ask the
It's
person,
more
like, so what
positive
do you,
that way.
yeah, yeah.
Learning to
It's
live
like,
is more
yeah.
positive.
But I say no. The fact is that we grow as humans from babies, nappies, to learning how to walk. You understand? Go to school, learn how to write, how to read, all of that. Like, look at our evolution as a human being
Mhm.
from zero to, let's say, 20 years when it comes to physically and all of that, right? And emotionally, you're learning. And then from 20 to 30 is like a new period again. And then from 30 to 40 is a new period again. And now they say, like, before they said 30 is new 20. Now they don't say that anymore. Now they say 40 is the new 30. You see?
Said that.
No,
And it's interesting. But however,
no, but it's a
to
fact.
change the name does not change the nature of things. And to
No,
change
it
the name
doesn't.
doesn't mean the nature remains the same.
No, but this is what, like. you know, I wanted to make a point like how it changes, and I do understand when people said from, the famous one, leave to learn. How
Mm-hmm.
they change it? No, learn to live.
Flame.
So I'm saying the same
Exactly.
perspective is then to, 30s are new 20s. No, 40s are new 30s. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
That's
this comparison all the time, how they take it, like always trying to look from the point. Yeah, you're getting old, but forget about it. You know what I mean? Or whatever nature. But I'm saying also that, yeah, learn to leave. Maybe, also as a growth, but this is like a very positive outlook. Like, and I feel like that the mistakes that has been made on
mm-hmm.
this slightly, just the second part, learn to live. It's I find it a little bit like, as alone, I find it a little bit disturbing. I find it a little bit too positive, because shit happens along the way, and
Of course.
we have to deal with it, and there is not always and only the just the positive side of it. I take it a little bit too positive, if that makes sense.
I beg to differ on only on the fact that you said that life is not always positive all the time. Really, the fact is that life oftentimes is full of negativity. It is the positive one that we really see. We are
Eh, eh,
Majority of us are not negative about life without a reason. It is the world that they have come to live in. It is the circumstances that they have around them that kind of inculcate that kind of thought or point of view in or approach in which they see life. You know, you can be bigger than the environment that you live in. It is actually more work to do to re-educate our mind to see positive side of life. On average, we go on the negative side. Just as a very simple example, do you listen to the news recently?
no,
Is there anything positive that you read on
no,
the news?
Pedro, don't. I
If
don't
it's
even
positive,
watch
they don't say,
news.
okay, good.
They
I'm
don't.
just I'm
They
just
don't
telling
talk
you
about
honestly.
positive stuff. And
No,
what I mean, I think that no, but this is intentional. When it comes to news, it's intentional to talk about negative stuff. God forbid to talk about something positive, because scaring people is the priority. Because teaching them the wrong thing is a priority. They need to create a horde to follow them. But that's another topic of controversial theories and stuff like that, and conspiracy and all of that. However, what you just said, right? Oh, can I just say hi to whoever is watching on my live? You can come and say hi. No.
hello.
um, I just want to say here, I completely understand this. You see, they went offline. No watching anymore. I just said hi and they escaped. Um, um, I like the fact that in all of this negativity, people find this positive aspect of it and they say, no, we learn to live. However,
Yes.
I am not pessimistic and I am not optimistic. I am realistic. And I still go by the fact that um, shit happens and we all have to deal with it. And it's not always rainbow and sunshine and butterflies and unicorns. And we need to accept the reality of it. However,
True.
all these negative, the thunderstorms and dark valleys and whatever you walk past in your life, needs or should be the ones that bring all those butterflies and unicorns and rainbows. You need to learn, how to transform them into your life. That's why I said we are living to learn how to live. And I find this more realistic than any of them.
Yeah, that is true.
if that makes
I
sense.
I I share this because to me it's more positive as well. You live to learn how to live, which is more positive.
Yeah.
On average, you are living already. So although, like you said earlier on, you said some other people, other school of thought might believe that you need to live, you need to learn to live. You understand? Live to learn or learn to live. It's
It's alone, alone. You got me, like alone as two individual mottos just don't go for some
just
reason.
don't go. Yes, it's crazy. Why it is
Hi again.
the back the back on say hello to
Yeah,
all of
somebody.
you. I'm here with your
Yeah, whoever is watching on my live, you can come and say hi to us. Don't be
don't be
shy.
shy. Just come over.
Share your peace of
And
mind.
perfect, perfect. The thing is that we have to do the best that we can all day, every time as a human being.
Yeah,
It is always good and to stay positive because holding grudges for so long will not help anyone. Neither the one around us, not us, not those around us. Holding grudges is a very negative thing, and life is too short for any reasons we could have in the world to hold grudges. Life is too short. It's what I'm telling anybody listening to us tonight, or that may come across this video. Make peace with life with the way it is and move on. Uh,
yeah.
Another thing is that because you hold grudges or you believe in payback or whatsoever does not mean that the people that who done you wrong, that things are gonna get worse for them. I I used to believe there was karma. I somehow now believe that no, it is not practically true that because someone has done me wrong, that the person will experience a negative thing to in their life. I don't think it is genuinely true because looking at the way
Um,
things are in life, looking at the way things are in life, if there was karma, if there was karma really, that
but
means
Pedro,
what
you
is
don't know.
past.
You can't. No, I will no because you are you don't know. You don't know if something bad happened, or maybe it affected them in the place that they didn't share with you, or you are not aware about.
Okay, that means karma only happen on the individual level. It doesn't happen as a group or as a general because if there is karma, where is the karma for
I think that
somebody
karma
to
is
be
the
able to that?
manifestation. I think karma is the manifestation. That's what I believe.
Okay, okay. If this is
If
true,
somebody is, I mean, if somebody is wishing you bad or done you something bad, is calling this upon themselves. That's what I believe.
okay, it means it happened on individual level,
I mean,
not on a large
how
scale.
else could it, how else did you expect? I mean, I am really curious to know how did you even imagine it initially?
Because I used to think karma is something that if you have done anything wrong, even as an individual, as a group, you will see the result too.
Yeah, but yeah, but I just want you to explain here a little bit better when you said, "Oh, so it does happen on the individual level." I didn't understand what, like,
No,
how did you? Okay, go on.
I am saying that if it is true, like you said, that if people are wishing evil on somebody else, they are calling evil upon themselves as well, as a form of
Hmm.
karma. I said, okay, if that is true, it means it happens on individual level. Because if it happens as a group, if karma exists, then as a group, all those that have done intentionally done evil to Africa, they would have gotten their karma today. But I don't see that
Okay,
in the
so
group. The ones
did
that
I understand
intentionally,
right? Did you expect, like, I don't know, if somebody is gonna do something to you, like, I don't know, oh, I can't make up the evil stuff right now, but something that the same thing would happen to them. Is that what you thought?
Karma generally, like what is it? What if you
No,
do?
because what obviously I see it as a. I mean, it might sound childish to some people, but I don't know. For some reason, it's easy to believe in those things, or we were taught to believe, or they do exist. But I think that, like, how I imagine karma is like, if I do or say something bad to you that it affected you to any extent. You know how they say karma will hit you. I always say,
Yeah,
like, you either gonna experience the same pain that you have caused me, but maybe in a different scenario, or like maybe the same thing is gonna happen to you somewhere along the line, like, deja vu kind of a thing. But
that's the reason
uh,
why I think that these things actually happen. It's on individual level, not as a group level.
I don't I personally don't know, but I don't, like, looking back, I could say 100%, like, yeah, karma does exist, God. Like, if that's what we call it. I just maybe see it as manifestation, because if I'm wishing you bad or I've done something bad, I obviously manifested the negativity, right? And yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes because it is coming from me, I manifested it for myself. So yeah, I do expect it's gonna hit me somewhere somehow,
on an
if
individual
that
level,
makes sense.
on an
Yeah, I
individual
think that
level, it's fine.
there is
I
no.
think
I mean, Pedro, if I offend you, I went into individual level. This is, and personal.
yeah, it doesn't even happen that way. If that happens, what happened to all the directors and everything that sat
They are normally
since?
divorced or bankrupt at the end, or they lose something, or they
Like, where are the karma for it?
listen. Um, I think that it comes. If it doesn't come tomorrow or in 5 years, it comes when it's the right time to hit.
I hope this was true because
I mean, I don't know. Doesn't
I've
it
waited
make you
that
better?
I've
We are
waited that
so
period to
funny now.
see.
I feel like we're saying a story time for bedtimes right now, and like living in that fairyland and all of that. But no, listen, I do think that it's much easier even for us to believe there is karma. Because when we get affected by somebody or something so much, that it's very, comforting in a way to say karma will hit you, karma will get you. Karma is a bitch,
Yeah,
that famous quote.
yeah.
Um,
But I'm
but
grown now. I'm a different man. I now work with realities.
listen,
I'm
I
grown.
know you work with the reality, but let's not forget that it's also important to take people's reality in consideration. Because
Absolutely.
somebody might say, religion is not reality. So it's for an individual person. That's his reality, and that's what we are, applauding for and cheering for.
So, I
Create your
believe
life and live by it. Yeah.
I believe it so much. Am I not the one that said earlier on during our discussion that I believe I
No, but you
believe
were
that
so funny because now it's making you confused, like.
it's a new religion.
It
Everybody kind of
is.
it looks like the solution for everything. I'm like, is this religion? If I know it's religion that has solution for
I
everything.
don't know. Pedro, I look, don't feel like embarrassed now or anything of that sort, right? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm seriously, and I will publicly say that, consider, checking into crystals. Not then, I don't want to do magic and I don't believe in that thing, right? Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But like, I came across so many things off late, like, and I mean off late, and my grandma, who passed away just in December, before Christmas. I
Mhm.
remember her having crystals in a water, and she only, like, in a jar, like it was a very nice glass jar, and she had always crystals. Like, I never asked her what those crystals were, but she was drinking water from there. And like, I'm like, Why was she doing that? And then I come across somebody just the other day who's saying that, certain crystals in water like empower you as a human being. Like this crystal is for grounding you, this crystal is for inspiring you, this crystal is for self-love. And
Believe,
Pedro,
believe in it
forget
too.
about karma. Yeah, that's what I said. Don't feel embarrassed because here I am, the tough one, the lioness and stuff, who is
I
considering
don't believe in it too.
drinking from crystal. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Listen,
so great.
I am living to learn how to live. And I'm
Yes,
gonna
that's
check those
great.
crystals out.
Living to learn how to live. I'll write it on my. I'm gonna make a post with that and credit you. Living to learn how to
Oh,
live by Tiasha Castelli Asoma. Today, 11th May 2024. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. So
I
seriously,
might go in
how?
history.
Yeah, of course. No, we are making history already. This is
I need
history
to
in the
turn on the
making.
light. Don't you think it's getting dark in my house?
Yeah, it is getting there.
It is.
Perfect. So, how do we manage insecurities in our great ability to project our fear onto other people? Have you ever imagined? Have you ever thought about things like that? Usually as people, as humans, we project our fear onto other people. I have not. It didn't work out for me. It will not work out for you. I was married to a foreigner before the marriage didn't work. Oh my God! Don't even tell me that you're going to get married to that man from Jamaica or whoever. Projecting our
Um,
fear. How do we
I
manage
think that having
situations like that?
fear, I think that having fear is healthy to some extent because it makes you cautious. It makes you more aware, I think. So, to healthy extent, I think fear is very welcome and good and important as well. But, others might disagree. Um, However, when it comes to fear that might be really affecting, that's a whole another level. Um, it's sometimes I feel like when you are looking at it from that perspective, is also that people do not want to invest their energy and they see it as a personal failure and they don't want to go in it again, if that makes sense, especially in a case that you just highlighted now, saying that um I've been in an interracial marriage, didn't succeed, forget about it, I'm not doing this anymore. um
Not
it's
only they're not doing it anymore, they're even projecting that fear on somebody else.
no, I
Maybe
know,
this
I know.
business didn't work.
Oh, okay, yeah, but is it that healthy fear? Like I for example, when I just briefly,
Yeah,
if I can use this example, there
yeah,
was
please.
a girl few years ago, I forgot to maybe, who contacted me about if I could just suggest her with the documents, because I obviously brought my husband to Slovenia and stuff, that she also wants to get married to an African, mm, who is living, obviously her case was different and stuff. And it's not my fear because I'm still married, don't get me wrong, but I just like highlighted, I said, listen, just please, before you go into this, it might not be the case, but please consider that coming to a town that we are from, your
Mhm.
husband is not gonna be happy. So please, if you're going to that, be prepared. And I'm coming from my experience and experience of somebody else who had a foreigner, also an African. You understand? It's not a happy place for a foreigner because it's a small community. They don't have any friends of their, race or color of that sort. You understand? They're completely isolated. There are people in my town that are of older age that never seen, staring at you alone, even if it's for a positive aspect, don't get me wrong. It's very, very annoying. And and it's, yeah, maybe fear for her. And I was coming from a good place.
Yeah,
Just be
but
ready,
the advice
please.
you gave is very positive, Jasha. At least
Right.
the feature and the
No,
things that you just
that's,
shared with us right now
but
is positive.
but we are talking about fear and projecting it on others. So
You
this is
didn't
also
project fear
type.
on her. What you said, Jasha, was
In
like,
a way,
this is
no,
the
but in a way
reality.
it was. No, it is a
You didn't tell
reality, but it's also what?
you didn't tell her not to do it. You only tell her to be prepared of what to expect.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. Fine. Okay, maybe that's different. But what I'm saying is that also,
No,
it's
it's
coming
different.
from, well, maybe,
So
but
that
I'm
was
saying
hella
that,
positive. That was hella
well,
positive, you know.
I
I'm
mean,
really waiting for
okay,
us to know
it
how
was it was it was
how can you
positive,
even be
but I
negative
wanted to hide.
to know how can you that I know like I was waiting. You didn't say the negative part. I'm still waiting. So that was
Oh,
positive.
Jesus,
No, this is the
Pedro,
city that
stop
we live
it.
in. This is the city that we live in. This is what you
No,
expect. This is
I
what
would
people
never
know.
say. I would never ever. No. Maybe I would sometimes in some cases, so I'm not gonna say never ever. But when it comes to stuff like that, I will give you my advice, but I will say I won't say never do it or don't you dare or like don't even try,
Yeah,
because even if it's a mistake for them, and I know that it might be a mistake, it might be, not that it will be, so that I won't be taken wrong here. I am nobody to stop you from doing whatever you decided to do. I am a friend or nobody. It doesn't matter. I am nobody. I am not the leader of your life. I
that's
am
very
not
true.
there for that. So, projecting that, like, if my best friend of 20 years would tell me don't do it because I've done it and I didn't succeed, I would maybe, I'm gonna be honest, like a little question it, like, because I know the extent of a person she is, for example, and I know the extent that she would like put the effort in, and like if she failed, you understand, and then tell me, I would maybe question it, but that doesn't prevent me from doing it. You understand? So I would maybe take her advice or fear of that a little bit different. However, if it was from somebody else, it will be pointless. Like, okay, maybe my mom and stuff, obviously, we are talking about now as like extended friends or somebody you just met or three times in your life. So, it might also not be coming from the good intentions or good place or good heart
That's
or.
that's true. Look, Tasha,
Mhm.
our stories, our experience in life could inspire a lot of people. At the same time, it could also set people up for failure. Just as a story could inspire somebody to take action and do something positive for their life, a
Yeah.
story as well could also paralyze people with fear and make people
Yeah.
begin to doubt themselves, especially when it becomes a projection of negative thought and ideas based on our past experience. There are people generally today that will tell young people don't get married because, oh, marriage, you do this, you do that, you don't. The reason why you get married, anybody that is in marriage today, I don't believe that I need to explain more to them. I cannot tell a young person today that the only reason why you get married is love. because at times you live with somebody, you are married to somebody that look, 1 minute you want to kill him, the next minute you can't live your life without the person. So it's not going to be butterflies in your stomach all the time. If I have to tell a young person that I'm deceiving the person, I'm not being honest. So,
Yeah.
but are there challenges to be faced in marriage? Yes. Is marriage worth it in our day and time? As far as federal policy is concerned, yes, it's worth it. So I cannot, because of bad experience that people have gone through, and only focus on the negative and project that here that will make people not rather do what they're supposed to do
No,
instead
but
of
have you
go.
noticed how fast are people to share all this negativity with you, but they wouldn't share the positive aspect or positive advice or anything with you?
That is the craziest part in it. As humans, we have this proclivity to things that are negative. We have this proclivity. Look, even when it comes to foreigners living in the society, I live in a country today where the contribution from taxes and everything, from the work that migrants do, for instance, the budget, the contribution compared to what the state used to support them, we are in surplus, we are in positive. It's not
Yeah.
negative. But
Hmm.
then, will you hear anything like that? You only hear of both that are coming and everything. You don't hear of the contribution that they make. As we speak, I don't know if I shared it with you some time ago. As we speak, the country that I live in needs something like 50,000 people because we have shortage of workers and everything. This is the fact presented by the government
Hmm.
for political reasons to have votes and everything. We all do the propaganda because I don't even want to exclude myself because I live in the society. It is in vogue. It is the main thing to say to be able to have our hotline followers to be on our path. We keep feeding them the information that is not helping them. So that is the problem. We believe in negativity as human beings. And it boils down to our personal life. Our personal life at times. What I'm telling you now, what I'm saying, Tiasha, is that look, I have seen people, they stop making progress in brackets because progress is defined by anybody in their own terms or whatsoever. They stop making progress because somebody has projected fear into them. And even going back to the example that you were making earlier on, if, excuse me, if I am married, I continue to share my intimate affair with other people, like things that are private, that has to do with my relationship with my significant other, my partner, my wife, husband, whatever, with people that may not mean well to me. At the end of the day, if I say bad thing about my wife to you today, whether I like it or not, the image will remain with you.
Hmm.
It will take me more time and hard work to do to change that impression from you again, whether we agree or not. It
Yeah.
is not
No,
going
and it's
to.
always the negative. It takes a lot of positives to eliminate one negative, and even that's like almost impossible anyway. So I completely agree. I completely
So,
agree.
why we people, for whatever reason, because there are people that could have been doing one or two business, but because somebody has tried it, they fail, they didn't bother to tell the other person, you try because I have tried it doesn't mean that you will not fail. It's like me looking at every other people or persons that have tried going into podcast, video podcast like I do now, they fail or they didn't make money whatsoever, then I
Yeah.
refuse not to do it. Of which there are people that are waiting to hear my opinion as well. It may not be a message for everybody. What we are discussing today may not even be liked by everybody, but the mission
Hmm.
is not that. But in this arena, as a human being, as a citizen of the various countries that we live in and everything, our voices are important. We should contribute. We should not, for whatever reason, be among that category of people that never showed up. You can't change anything without participating in it.
I
If you
agree.
want to change anything at all in life, you have to participate in it. Give your time,
Yep.
chip in your 2 cents, let people hear your opinion.
Yep.
So if I don't
I
do it,
agree.
if I don't do the podcast, if I have to say, okay, fine, maybe I don't see people commenting or doing everything they are supposed to do and everything. You know, even the technical issue that we had before starting today. But
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I have bought things to have even avoid those problems and everything, but it's still there. But I'm not stopping. So people could
We are
actually project
unstoppable.
negativity. Yes, people could actually project negativity to the extent
No,
that
I
it's
I
making other
listen. I understand, and I can speak from personal experience that I'm also involved in one case when I heard certain things like too many negative things, and now it's like I'm projecting my personal issue with a person, and I needed to reverse that and had to work on myself. Like these are not my issues that I was able to move past because, like you said, and look at the type of a person I am, right? With a clear mind. I mean, at least I'm trying to. I was put in the situation where I took it personal, and it was not even my cup of tea. It was not my business,
yeah,
and it's like you need to, you know,
step back.
really work. Yeah, you really need to.
I'm happy that you do so. I'm happy that you did it.
I
It
mean,
was good
Pedro,
that you
I often
realized.
say, listen, I because I always stand by the fact, and I needed to remind myself that for me to be able to move past it. Um, I always said, listen, I came across sometimes, especially workplace, when there are women, a lot of women involved, or any other like maybe school or somewhere. It's a lot of times like, why are you talking to this person? And I'm like, hey, yo, I don't have an issue with that person. You have an issue. Why you do two don't talk, it's up to you. But because you have an issue with that person, you cannot influence me. So then because I stand by that, you understand? And I don't like I would never. I mean, really, like if I did, it was really unintentional, or maybe I came across misunderstood because I really do not want to project like my negativity or my issue with a person on somebody else. Like if I mentioned it to make myself feel, okay by putting this out there. But by no means I wanted ever anyone to hate or dislike somebody because I had an issue with a person. You know what I mean? Like I always tell even others, like no. And I'm teaching my daughter the same because I think that these are like such a important values and morals that people need to have, and they are lacking nowadays. It's very easy to follow like that horde, you know um so this is what I needed
So
to remind myself. I was like, this is not my issues. You listened, you were there to comfort the person, but you cannot dislike this person because somebody you spoke to dislikes it. Don't take it personal. It was not like. So then I was like, oh yeah, yeah, and I needed to remind myself to then reverse it and then work through it myself. Yeah.
I'm happy that you did because in life there is no permanent friend or permanent enemy. It is practically unwise to make the enemy of our friends our enemy without that person actually doing anything to offend us. So, what
you
if
know you know what
what
is
if they
funny?
reconcile tomorrow? If they reconcile tomorrow, what will you do? Imagine you put yourself in the middle
Yeah,
of that chaos
yeah,
and they happen to
yeah,
do something
exactly,
funny.
exactly. I don't know how much this is related, but like before I met my husband, I was in a relationship and he had a younger brother, and this younger brother had a girlfriend. And it's like we were all friends, and it was like two couples, going for drinks together, spend a lot of time together, and everything. So when I actually broke with that guy, because he didn't have anyone, and he was a type of a person that easily get influenced, and like he left their friends, although I was keep pushing him, go with your friends, be out with them, you don't need to be always with me. He just wasn't that type. Okay. So when we broke up, when I left the relationship, I knew he's gonna stay alone, and I had a lot of negative thoughts about him because he did affect the relationship significantly with certain behavior. And I knew that I cannot remain friends with the partner of his brother, because I would be speaking negative, and I also didn't want him then to hear from like how happy I am in my new relationship with now my husband, then later on. And
Yeah.
I actually cut ties because of that. It was after some years that I did reach out, reconnected when I found out she's pregnant and stuff, and I was really happy for her and all of that. However, like I know that if we sit down today for, we're gonna be cordial. There is no hate towards us, but like the friendship is not there anymore. But I willingly decided to leave that friendship, to leave because I wanted him to have a positive people, in his circle, and I knew that I would affect that, if that makes sense.
Oh, it was good. It was good that you did what you did. It was really, really good. There's no problem there at all. I'm happy that, and I believe it kind of it helped the other people that were involved too, both
I mean, maybe, but what I'm saying is, that this goes back. This is not me from yesterday, That's why I said that I needed to remind myself when I was caught in this situation. Listen, Tasha, you're not this kind of a person, you know? So that's why I said that it's very important that, you stand by what you say, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And it is also very important that we as humans we learn how to manage this our because it is no matter how tough we are from the experience that you just relate with us, we could find ourselves whereby we are vulnerable some way somehow because we don't want to hurt other people. Our vulnerability could actually put us in a situation whereby we show. I wouldn't even say, I don't know if I should describe it as insecurities or weakness. We find it difficult to something that we would have done ordinarily differently. We don't do it that way at that particular time. It
Yeah.
becomes difficult because no matter how tough we are, Tisha, none of us actually genuinely accept the person is a sociopath. None of us actually have the intention to hurt other people. Nobody is happy doing that.
I mean, I would really like to believe so. However, I think that some people might find enjoyment in it, but that's another, thing. It's just, I don't know. I in general, like, I learned how to be considerate,
Yes.
and yeah, and I also because like I felt at one stage in my life that I'm not being considered, or my emotions and feelings are not being considered, and I felt
Mhm.
the need that I do let people know, you do matter, and whatever you bring
You
along
care.
matters. Yeah,
That's very important. That's very important.
yeah.
That's a very nice take on it. I, for one, I like being kind. I think it's something that I expelled the idea of being nice out of my world. I don't want to be nice. I want to be kind. I believe in respect more than love. If you
Hmm.
respect me, that to me is more than you loving me.
Hmm.
If you respect me, it shows that, like you said, you show an amount of consideration to me.
Yeah,
You are kind.
that's that's
Respect my
all it
time.
matters.
Good.
You know,
So
I always say, even in the relationship, sorry, even in the relationship, like that's okay, it's nice to hear that I love you every now and again,
yeah,
but those are words. You know what I mean? It's just like a verbal affirmation, so to speak. To me, I love you means, yeah, but I said, like, it's like that cherry on top every now and again. It's fine, like, however, it means shit to me every day if this I love you doesn't, you know become an action.
many with respect. Yeah.
Yeah, like, just show, and like I said, this consideration is such a powerful word. It really does involve the respect, the lack of self, I mean, ability of leave selfishness aside, and everything. Like, I think that consideration is really like a big word for all those small ones that come in between.
Our ability or effort to be able to show consideration to other people help us guide against the propensity that we have as humans to project our fear on other people. If
Hmm.
I'm being considerate, or rather, will it be, or rather, is consideration the reason why we tend to project our fear on other people because I don't want the person to suffer what I have suffered. Meanwhile, not taking into consideration that the circumstances might be different for that person than the one under which we operated on in the past. If
Didn't I
everything
say it before? It
marriage
depends. It can come from a good place, it can come from a bad place.
a bad place, but it is
Yeah.
not good to project fear on other people. Where we are rather, there is a saying: if you cannot help me, at least don't be against me. At least, if you cannot help me, at least leave me alone to let me go, to let me
No, I said I
from
didn't.
the situation.
You laughed. You laughed the other day when I shared that, but it's like, when in comments, when I said, if you are not by my side or on my side, you're in my fucking way. So move off. But
It's at least let me go. That's
uh, but what I meant with this is also, Pedro, before I said, right, that there might be cases like, um, I don't mean, like I said, if my friend said something, the caliber of a person that she is, I would kind of know the idea, whether she's being positive or negative about it.
yes.
But this is about the person that I really know. So, fear in general, I mean, projecting into this extent, it might be also, the protection. However, what I feel like is that people should be, I think that the using the words sometimes is very bad. That lack of clear communication, because you might been through something that I'm really like passionate about doing, right? And the caliber of a person you are, again, you understand, and the respect we have for each other. I come to you and I'll tell you this and that. You understand? I know you are not gonna stop me. Go and try. I know you're gonna be the one who's gonna encourage me. But I also know you're gonna tell me the hiccups, and now
So
it's up to you how you gonna word that to me. And I think that here this miscommunication sometimes is also a major issue. Like, it might be a figurative speech. Like I could say, like, don't even try to do it, my God. I don't mean don't do it, but it's just like the way I'm expressing myself. However, again, if we are sitting together and we know each other and we are giving advices to each other, we would know whether it's coming from a good place or bad place. That's why I always say just if you have somebody that you can go to for an advice or whatever, then go to a person you really know. Because only that person that you really know is gonna give you, first of all, an honest one, and second of all, you are able to read that person in between the lines, whether it's coming from a good or a bad place.
So true. So true.
So
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 true.
just expressing my fear, I might be really seriously protecting you, so it needs to be taken in consideration. Again, that word, right? So it's just, I don't mean you harm, because you know that I don't, but I do want to warn you. And if that warning is going to stop you from doing something, it might save you something also. So you see what I mean? It's just, I know you need to do mistake, but then sometimes the failure can be so big and damaging too.
But Theater, warning someone about something oftentimes it's positive, it's not negative. When we talk of
True.
projecting, when we talk of projecting our fear whatsoever in other people,
Yeah.
is when we believe that they cannot amount to anything, they cannot do it because we have done it, it didn't work. Oftentimes,
Yeah.
that comes from a negative place. There is no debate about that. If you are projecting your fear into what I'm doing, is purely from a negative place, which could even be boiled
Yeah.
down to ignorance, to us not taking things into consideration, all things that we are supposed to take into consideration, believe it. So I somebody has gone to the university and did not make a lot of money after. I'm just using this as an example now. If you go to university doesn't mean that you're going to make a lot of money, but there are still
Yeah.
people today that believe that if they go to university, they will be able to get a good job and that and that and that and that. However, it might be that there are millions of people out there they didn't get something significant of a job that we can consider important after the university. There might be somebody today, even from doing internship from the course that they read at the university, they would have been employed from a particular company.
Yeah.
So will I not say today there are a lot of people living in the world that are having debt, they borrowed a lot of money to be able to go to school and everything, they don't have job, they are complaining. That still will not stop me to not advise somebody today if it is part of their plan and if it will aid their destiny or the destination that they want to go to, going to the university, I will please encourage them to do it. Nevertheless, that I know a lot of people that have been there, they don't have anything to show for it. See, this is the difference.
Yes,
Projection from
yes, and
money.
I completely agree with that. And I think that we also summarized it before a little bit when, with those parts, and yes, I agree. But again, it's also, how you deliver that.
Yes.
I think it's very important that miscommunication, or somebody who doesn't know how to communicate properly, and there is a lot of people like that, that it might be that problem as well. How you also take the certain thing, and or from which place it's actually coming. Yeah.
From whom is the
and
effect
and
that
that,
is
of
coming
course,
as
but
well.
a person is the first one you actually know, because you're going to this person for an advice, let's say, right? So you know who you are dealing with, I
So
hope.
so true.
uh you know um and then the rest just follows along.
So true.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so very much. I'm really grateful. I really appreciate your thought and perspective on this particular topic today, and the topic give you the possibility to coin a particular, should I call it phrase or a word? This is not just a word, of course. And yeah, it could be considered a phrase. Living to learn how to live, right?
Yes.
Live to learn how to live. I will write that down. I will write that down in the Bible. It's really, really interesting. Live to learn how to live. I believe if we actually consider our life that way, we will be able to manage our mistakes in life better than the way we are doing. One thing
Yeah.
that for anyone that has followed us from the beginning of this show to this very moment is that maybe they would have seen how passionate and determined I am about that particular idea of not allowing people that did not contribute to the problem that we have to be the victim of that particular problem. I think it is counterproductive. It doesn't foster good relationship. It doesn't build trust among ourselves. Look, it is practically bad and dead wrong for me to suffer the consequences of your ex-husband, your ex-wife, or your whatever it is. It does me no good, and I don't believe that it does the particular person doing that to a fellow human being any good
Yeah.
as well. Life is hard. Life is a battle. We continue to fight this battle every day, but I do believe with practical steps and practical
Yes.
ideas like this, we can be able to live the best life that we could ever have imagined in our life.
Absolutely.
It is possible, it is done. A lot of people have been able to do it in the past. So, if, like myself and Tiasha was saying today, if someone has related an issue to you, do your best, if possible, to ask the person if they really need an advice from you or we are just talking here. It might make you look like an ass. Is it supposed to say that in social media? It might make you look like as if you don't care, but however it is, you are not an ego. You are genuinely asking the person if you can give your 2 cents. And that is a great thing because your 2 cents about that issue that they are going through may not be very palatable for them, may not be that exact thing that they want, but it might be something that they need. You know, we said earlier on how possible will it be for us to be able to advise people to go for a therapy session or to seek help when we are able to see the blind spots that they themselves are not seeing. You can't just jump into the person to say that, but you should create a context, an environment for you to be able to tell that person. And one of my strategy, one of the things that I really believe that we can do in that case is what I've just said. Ask the person if
Yep.
they give you the permission to be honest with them. In
But you
that
know what?
case,
We also do understand if the person is to you blabbing every day about everything, that you also feel like you're not, you know, needing of asking. Still just ask, even if the person is sharing everything with you.
absolutely.
That
And
way you cover your own ass. I asked you before, you agreed or you disagreed. So now take, the consequences of it. So
this is
just
exactly what
ask.
I think about it.
Yeah.
This is what exactly what I think about what you just told me. I'm sorry, but this is exactly what I think.
Yeah.
We too, as humans, we should, and why it is good that we listen to, we share the burden of other people, we should learn how not to absorb too much as well, so that we don't end up being the first to have been needing the therapy after we had just told someone that they need the therapy. Because if if you had to carry the problem of the world at the end of the day, it will affect your productivity. And with this, I will refer to the issue of trust as well, because some of us could actually have our trust betrayed. Maybe partly because of the way we process things, because we believe that if we are in something that is important with anyone, if at least we are upfront and open on our at our end, they too should have been able to do the same. Yes, this may not be the situation in every relationship out there, but
Yeah.
if we share our life together, we have plans for our futures together. If every T has been crossed and every I has been dotted, it is expected that we are at least honest, even about our personal traumas and the rest, so that we and our significant others will be able to manage it properly. So going back to what we were saying earlier on, it is practically not good for an innocent person to suffer more than necessary for the trauma that you are going through. So let us speak up. And on this session, I would say that a lot of us don't know how to communicate. We believe that we know how to communicate, but many of us don't know how to communicate.
Hmm.
And when we are talking, we are too reactionary even in terms of discussion. We listen to speak, not to understand the other person. And that's
Hmm.
the reason why I really like the word I use, considerate. If you are considerate of other people, it will be very helpful, even in fostering a very
Yeah,
important relationship. And with
definitely.
that, with that, we are going to leave the question to you all again tonight. We have done our part in trying to answer the question: do you live to learn or learn to live? It's an open question, and I hope that you all think about this particular thing. Comment
Comment
on the video,
below.
share it to those that may have one or two things to say about it. And please let us know how you feel about it. And on this note, I also want to thank our friends, David Eposa and Abby King that commented and on YouTube that watch us. And each and every one of us that stopped by and have seen our video tonight. My special thanks to you all. And Pedro Apollo Podcast has always promised to always come with interesting and intriguing topics. And I hope that it proves useful to each and every one of you. As you will have seen, it's a show where my friends we talk with each other, we have fun doing it, and eating, drinking my coffee, drinking wine, drinking tea, depending on what we have as at that particular day. So when you are watching us, feel free to get your popcorn, get your wine or champagne, and share with us as well. So
Oh,
thank you so much
yes.
for your time, and we hope to be able to keep a date with you next week Saturday. And it's going to be an interesting show as well. Share the video around, and thanks to Mr. Obina Stanley of Achievers World. He's one of our supporters, and they are the management of the Photo Pro Studio as well for photography and videography of any nature that you want. I also want to use the opportunity to thank the Studio Legale della Briganti of Parma here in Italy. So they are one of our backers as well. And at the same time, I want to thank the Colistine Culture in Lagos, and that is in Admiralty Way in Lagos. They are one of those that actually back us up. They believe in this project, and I hope in the future we're able to collaborate more with a lot of people to continue to create an interesting show to each and every one of you. And a special thanks to Chashka Castelli Astomani. Thank you so much, Tasha. Thank you for the time
Thank
again.
you.
I'm really grateful. Being a father, I know how it is having its time and everything. I don't want to sound cliche, but I really want you to know that I appreciate as well. I really do.
I
Thank you
enjoy
for the
it.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. And keep bringing on the fire. I like your perspective. And hope it proves useful to every other people that are going to watch the video. And please, no, it's essay. Nobody when you say it the other time. Because Facebook, they're not the play. They're not the play. Facebook and YouTube. You don't want to get
I'm
this kind of boredom.
sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
we all do it. We all do it. Nobody learns it. You keep changing
Just
this
put
between
just put their PJ8 PG what
PG.
PJ PG yeah PJ. My God,
Thank you
I
all
don't
once
even
again.
know.
Thank you. I'm really grateful. It has been a great show. And
Yeah,
bye for
look at how
now.
I
Ciao,
look.
ciao. Ciao.
Toodles.